once again, I'd like to apologize for the hoarseness of voice. What's up, though? Welcome back to episode 2 of the I-90 Sports Podcast. We got a lot to cover today, JD. We had a lot of action go down, and I can't wait to get into it. And let's just jump right in. We'll kind of go backwards a little bit, and we'll talk about the Bears, Dolphins, and the Pats, Eagles first, and then we will bring in our special guest that we have lined up for the show to help us talk about some of the rookie quarterbacks.
Sounds great, man. I'm excited. We got a lot to talk about today, so it's going to be loaded. Stay with us.
Let's get into it. We got to see game number 2 of the preseason, and get a better look at some of the starters. They played a little longer this game, and hopefully by the next one we'll see probably a full half out of the starters. That would be my guess. They'll probably play them for a half in the last game, but
I hope so.
Let's get right into it. The Bears and Dolphins. We'll start with them first. Justin Fields, the future of your Chicago Bears.
Future of the franchise, the future of the city.
I'll give you your initial thoughts on his performance versus the Dolphins.
He was electric. I mean, he was like, you just felt something when he stepped on the field. Like there was like a star power immediately, and everybody, all the players, like you could just see they were all kind of tightened up, man. It was fun to watch. Honestly, I don't think we've ever had that in Chicago. We've never had a guy, everyone's like, oh, the quarterback's here. Everybody like, let's get ready. So he wasn't perfect. He had a few like throws that I was like, whoa, that needs to get cleaned up. That'll get addressed. But he was electric. His athleticism, his agility. That one was a 20-yard play or something like that. It was a 20-yard run where he like was faster than the safety. It was like, whoa, baby,
beat the safety to the edge. Yeah, beat the safety to the edge.
Oh, that was something we've never seen in Chicago. So no, it was electric. That's what I would say. What did you think?
I think you hit it on the head where they finally have a guy where that you have to okay, the difference between a guy like that and Trubisky, you have to game plan for Justin Fields. You have to game plan for him. He's a difference maker. You know, he's a difference maker. He's a playmaker on the field. He did start. I will say this. I did rewatch the game. He started off slow.
Yeah, he did. The first drive was very slow.
You could tell that like there was an adjustment period to the game speed and just the way like I think it's a lot. I think it's kind of that rookie shock, like that it's
the butterflies.
Yeah.
It's you're excited. You're like, holy crap, this is it, like right here. And then he said the game slowed down, and you could see that in the third quarter. But you're right. Yeah, like as the first drive was. Yeah.
Oh, you could definitely tell that as it progressed, by the second and third drive, he had slowed down, and it was, sometimes you just get the yips and the jitters, and it's like you got to just push through that. But he looked very good, man. He looked poised. He looked his footwork was pretty good for.
Well, and the most impressive thing to me was I think it was I don't know if it was Monday or Tuesday, but so apparently he played really badly in practice on like Monday or Tuesday. And he told the quarterback's coach, Della Filippino, I forgot his name, Coach D, I'll call him. He told the Bears coach, the quarterback's coach, that he wanted to redo everything. So they spent an extra 2.5 hours out there doing every single other, like every drill again, so he could do it over again. And he got like fifth stringers and other people to help him and stuff. So yeah, this kid is absolutely dedicated, man. And I love that. So I'm excited. I'm absolutely excited. People are saying he's a stud. He makes head turns when he walks in the room. Yeah, Justin Fields, man.
They actually have a guy that you have to game plan for now, which is dangerous.
It's exciting. I didn't even know he was like that. Whenever, like, if you look at his college tape, he looks smaller in college. He's that 1 year, man. He's like filled out a little bit.
Yeah,
he's gotten bigger and stronger. He looks big. He looks like a big guy.
Now, so obviously the offense looked pretty good with Fields kind of running, at the helm. What did you think about the other end of the other end of it on the defensive side?
Well, they're not really doing anything yet. Like, they're not really gonna go all out like the Bears do. Like, they're not gonna have Mac, go wild or anything. And they still don't even have a key man. I don't think they have Hicks on the field, or if he is, he just got back on the field.
I didn't see him.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure he wasn't in the preseason. Yeah, no, he wasn't. And so they don't have a lot of their guys like ready to go. Eddie Jackson, obviously, he's been, like, people say he's had a good camp. Last year he was not as good as the year prior, so we're hoping for a bounce back year so he can become one of the best safeties in the league again. But I mean, I didn't see anything. I feel like they're running like a really basic scheme. So, I mean, nothing. I feel like I won't know anything about the defense until
they're not really going to crank it up until week 1.
Yeah, they're not going to go as crazy as they will. They don't want to show anything yet. I don't think. Yeah, because the Bears.
Were you happy with how they played? Were you happy with how the defense did?
I think we have some depth. Yeah, I like that. I think we have a few guys like just like at the line. Like I see a lot of guys at the line that I've never even heard of, and I'm just like, oh hey, turning some heads. You looked pretty fast. Like, so that's kind of fun. Another thing I was very happy about was the offensive line play. I thought that was really good, very dynamic, very quick feet. I think that we something we struggled with is we had a lot of slow-footed offensive line, and like now I think we're getting a little bit like Matt Nagy knows how to draft them, knows how to work them. So it's good.
You want guys who can move. You want guys who can move.
With Fields, yeah. So it's exciting.
I hear that.
I'm waiting for the next game though. I think it's on today or tomorrow. Yeah. Either way, yeah. So
tomorrow,
I'm excited.
I think.
I'm gonna go. I'll double check, but yeah, either way, I'm excited.
So the progression continues for Justin Fields.
Absolutely.
And now we'll head down I-90 back towards the East Coast, and I see we have our special guest in the house, Lawrence. I promise we will get to you. I have a couple of questions that I would like to ask you and just get your opinions on, and we can have you answer those. But so heading back into this time, the Patriots playing away in Philadelphia in the Link in a hostile environment. They go up there and they just absolutely just put a beat down on the Eagles. It was. I mean, I was expecting it to be a good game, but man, that was the defense showed all facets of the game for the Pats just were really good. The defensive line was good. The D line was putting pressure on the Eagles all night. It was all night. I think they only blitzed like 4 or 5 times the whole game. But the D line was getting it done. I mean, Chase Winovich had himself a hell of a game. The D line in general, the interior defensive line did really well. I thought Barmore did pretty well. And then the biggest surprise of the night for me was how the jump for Cam Newton from game 1 to game 2. He looked a lot better. The footwork wasn't perfect. And I don't think it's as good. I think it definitely was better. It's not perfect. The footwork for Cam was better. Just that leap. That was the best I've seen Cam Newton look in a pocket since he got here. Right. But they demolished him. And then Newton was 8 for 9 with 103 yards. Only was one pass the whole night. And then Mac Jones, who absolutely had two really good throws. The one to Gunner at the 4-yard line, and then the one the dime that he dropped to
Harry.
N'Keal Harry along the sidelines for like 35 yards. The progression of both quarterbacks has just been something to see. Mac Jones, that's like I said, that's the most comfortable I've seen Mac Jones in a pocket. I mean, that's the most comfortable I've seen Cam Newton in a pocket since he got here. Now, and then just overall, it was the Eagles just seemed like they couldn't do much at all. But let's bring in our special guest for the evening, and or for the morning. What am I
was gonna say? That was a Belichick beatdown.
Yeah,
Belichick was pissed about 2017.
So somebody who's been following this and who's helped out a few of our friends on their podcasts about what he thinks about some of these rookie quarterbacks. Colts Law on Twitter, guys. Lawrence Owen, we know him by. What's up, bud?
What's going on, man? Appreciate you having me on.
No problem.
Good.
So I have a few. I want to get your thoughts on the Newton-Jones situation, also Justin Fields, and I also want to ask you about your rookie quarterback, who hasn't looked too bad either. Sam Ellinger, he might be serviceable. I just want to get your thoughts on kind of all those, the Newton situation. We'll start with that. What do you think of the Newton-Jones situation?
The Newton-Jones situation is kind of unique. I think that Cam Newton really had issues last year, and jumping in with a new coordinator, new quarterbacks coach, new system, new everything, in a system that's not used to using skills that Cam Newton brings, or what he might not be good with, right? That they use a lot. So there was a lot of stuff to work out, a lot of tweaks to make in order for Cam Newton to, in my opinion, be as efficient as he can with the Patriots. And then they go out and they get so lucky in the draft. I mean, lucky as heck when Mac drops to them and they're like, this is the perfect situation, at least in my opinion. I can't believe that Belichick wasn't sitting there going, are you kidding me?
They had to get nothing up to get him. They had to give nothing up to get him. He just fell to him.
Exactly. And now there was a lot of questions about Mac too, coming, out of college. There was a lot of things, but he seemed to be more of that pocket passer that the Patriots have utilized over, the decades and decades that they've been around. So, I watched film from Cam. I've watched film from Mac, and I'm like, I like what Mac brings to the table. But at the same time, he's still young, and he's still got to get into the whole NFL, up to speed. All that. I like the fact that they're still kind of heavy on Cam right now, because in my opinion, if the season starts out, good, then Belichick is smart, right? But if it starts off bad, well, you still gave Mac Jones a little bit of time. Right. And then you can bring him in later if you need to. But I don't know. Cam in his past has shown that he could be a baller. So take that chance, because last year, yes, there was a lot of excuses, but a lot of those excuses were legitimate excuses, true reasons of why he was not succeeding as well as what he was hoping for. But I don't think there's really I think the quarterback controversy in New England is more a fan-based situation than an internal situation. You know what I mean? So I really do believe that the Patriots organization itself really want Cam to succeed this year.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a hoping Cam succeeds or gets him to where they need to go, and then Matt can be that guy for the future.
Yeah. Now, I said it last. I said it the last podcast we had the last week. And it's probably one of the best things I've heard out of the Boston media in like a long time, because I don't usually go with, what they kind of say, but they said it's easier to go from Cam Newton to Mac Jones than it would be to go from Mac to Cam, because if you start the kid and and he's not doing well, because the Patriots do not have an easy schedule this year. It's not that heart of the schedule, that week 6 to week 5 to week 12 is not, it's not easy. And if he loses 4 games in a row and looks bad, and they go back to, and it forces them to go back to Newton, and then that flip flop's never good. You have to time that transition perfect.
Well, yeah, and on top of that, if you start Mac and he doesn't do well, and you have to bring Cam in, what does that do to his personal self? Up here in the clock. You know what I'm saying?
Confidence. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And if you bring him in because Cam's not doing well, then there's no expectation for Mac, right? There's no expectation. It's like, you know what? All you got to do is go out there and play and get experience. It's because we're already sitting in a bad situation because we've lost some. Obviously, they would have had to have lost some in order to bring him in. But on the flip side, like you said, they bring him in and they start out losing. What if they start out losing, bring Cam in, and then they start winning, and then Mac's in a bad situation upstairs, right? Up in here, wondering what in the world am I good enough? And that's something you don't want to have in any rookie player, especially a quarterback.
There's two words I would use to describe Mac Jones: is swagger and poise, and you don't want to mess with those things right early on. Exactly. I agree with you. You got to use Mac early, or you got to use Cam early on. Save Mac.
So now, Lawrence, what have you got to see any of Justin Fields or no?
I've seen a few things. I've seen I've seen what he said, and then I've seen a few plays, and I've seen obviously what the starting quarterback said about him. I didn't get to see the entire game because I'll be honest, I've just been incredibly busy and hadn't had a chance to watch it. So but I've seen some highlights. But
do you think the building blocks and potential are there for him to do well?
Well, yeah. I think I honestly believe that he's in a better situation to succeed in Chicago than, let's face it, a pocket quarterback, because Chicago's offensive line at times are not very good at pass protection. There's a reason why Mitch Trubisky was having issues, and it wasn't all on Mitch Trubisky. Okay. There was a lot of times. Yeah.
I think we're better than we have been. And that is what I was looking at the other day. I was like, that's the only thing I'm worried about. Like I was saying, the defense in the Bears, not really worried. We'll see where they're at in week 4 or 5, if they're good or bad. But the offensive line, that's what I'm worried about, because you got to be that's a unit you got to get going early on in preseason. So you're right. They have been. And Trubisky, the thing about Trubisky, the reason why Trubisky wasn't our quarterback, why he wasn't right for us, wasn't all his fault. He's like a B- quarterback. But the thing with Matt Nagy is Matt Nagy wants someone with skyrocketing potential. He coached Patrick Mahomes, and he loved coaching Patrick Mahomes. So he doesn't want someone with limited potential with a ceiling that you can, hit your head on. So, but I agree. You're right that it's not all on Mitch. It's not the reason why we didn't win half the time. It was Cody Parkey's fault. That's what it really was. That's who it really. I'm just kidding.
I think for the rookie quarterback to succeed in Chicago, they really have to establish a solid ground and pound game in order for him to succeed. They can get that going, which falls right into what you were saying, JD. They need to have their offensive line step up early. Absolutely early, in order for him to work out with Chicago. Now, I don't know. I haven't been watching closely the reports out there. Have they named a starter yet out there?
Oh, for Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's Andy Dalton.
It is Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, okay. They have definitively said Dalton will start.
And Nagy has openly talked about the Patrick Mahomes comparison. He said, I want to use Andy Dalton like we used Alex Smith and kind of ease him into it. And honestly, Andy might be there all year. Some of these Bears fans might be raging by the end of it, and I'm prepared for it. I'm like, well, yeah, we'll give him as much time as he needs, the kid. Like let him get the whole playbook in there. Don't just like show flashes of greatness. No, I want to see everything. And if he's good by week 8, then put him in at week 8. But if he's not, then just wait a year and it's no big deal. Then the next year he comes in and he's Patrick Mahomes, and I'll take it, man. I'll take it. 50 touchdowns, No,
that's another huge part of it too. You never really want to throw a rookie out there without knowing like most, if not all, or is confident with most of the playbook. He might not know all of it, but he's confident with, it's such a huge part of it where you don't want to leave a guy hanging out to dry because it can ruin him. It can and will ruin him.
A problem with the Red Rifle that Bears fans see is the last few years he has not had an offensive line at all. None. Zero. I mean, last year in Dallas, 80% of that offensive line was hurt.
Yeah, and it was like all year.
Yeah,
everyone
backups upon backups.
Everyone was injured.
And then we all seen what he left, in his wake over in Cincinnati as Joe Burrow, had surgery on his knee. So, that's the kind of offensive line that the Red Rifle had over there. So even though I said, Chicago's offensive line is questionable at times, it's better than the both situations that he had in both those previous teams. And he's got weapons. Allen is a stud. Okay. Yeah. He is so much better than what he had in his last year over there, in Cincinnati, because
was Zeke hurt. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Now, yes, Dallas has good weapons, right? But Zeke's not necessarily. I think Zeke is a little bit starting to go ever since he's gotten his money. Ever since he got this, it just right. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. It's like
that happens a lot.
It's all about him, and not the team, and that worries me a little bit about picking him for anything like fantasy, But
he had a down year last year too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a really bad down year. Now he had some weapons, obviously, like Cooper and all of them, CD, but if you ain't got time to throw in the pocket and you're a pocket quarterback, that's not a good situation to be in, right? So
statue.
like I said, in Chicago, that offensive line for either quarterback is going to be important, whether or not you're going to put your rookie in, and he's going to have to, you're going to have to worry about that ground and pound to let his legs do a lot of the work as well when you're doing RPOs and such.
Any good running game helps out quarterbacks. Any good running game.
Exactly. And then on top of that, you need that pass protection for a pocket quarterback, like Dalton, because Dalton let's not pretend. Yeah, Dalton 3 years ago was a pretty darn good quarterback. He just, that offensive line went to crap in Cincinnati and he looked horrible. Then it went to, goes to Chicago, to Dallas, and I expected him to play well, but then that offensive line went to crap, and started getting hurt all the time. He had no time to throw the football. So I'm hoping that Chicago has got a lot of things worked out. I know they've been working. It's not their fault. It's not like Chicago hasn't been trying to fix their offensive line. I've noticed the moves. I've noticed the draft picks. It's just some of them just hasn't been working out to what they were hoping for.
Well, Kyle Long, I mean, God.
Yeah. No,
that's ridiculous.
The last 3 seasons, they've realistically been trying to do something about that O-line to help, and it's just, what was that? Their second and third round, I think they picked O-line, and both of them fell flat on their face. I think either last year or 2 years ago.
Cody Whitehair is the only one who's been solid out of that because we drafted a lot from like 2017, 2018, 2019. He was the only one who was solid, and he's like the shortest one, the smallest one. It's the funny thing. It's like he was the littlest guy, and he's the only one who like worked out. Maybe not the only one. I think there was one more. I'm forgetting though. I'll have to look at it again.
Well, when you get an offensive lineman who's a little smaller or has shorter arms, right?
Yeah.
They seem to work harder. You know, they know, you know, that there's a lot of people out there that are down on them because, you know, just their physical ability. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they seem to work really, really hard. You see that every day.
Now, Lawrence, we wanted to, JD brought this to me yesterday? I think it was.
So I was watching, I think I was know where you're going to go. So I was watching the Colts, and I noticed that I thought the eye test, I didn't actually know what the stats were, so I didn't even look at that. The eye test told me that Sam Ehlinger looked a little bit better than Jacob Eason. What did it tell you?
So this is what I wanted to get.
You're a fan, so I want to know.
Okay, in all honesty, the first drive for Jacob Eason was not good because the offensive line was not. I mean, that offense.
Yeah.
No, the Colts did not start their drive. They got torched.
They got torched bad. Okay, and Eason is not necessarily a mobile quarterback. I mean, he can move, but he's not known for that. He prefers to stand tall in the pocket and throw it, you know, downfield. And he got sacked 3 times, like really quick. Bam, bam, bam. You know, and
two of those they could have taken a snap from him.
Right. The last one, you know, he got stripped. You know, lost the fumble, and that made him look bad. But after that first drive, he really stepped it up and started playing, and you could see the arm talent that Eason has. It is he has got one of the best natural arms in that I've seen. You know, the question is, can he throw on the run? Can he feel pressure around him and move around in the pocket to avoid it? That's a problem that you know, a lot of us Colts fans are a little worried about Jacob Eason. But again, we also forget Eason only played 2 years of college, and both of them were at 2 different teams. Right?
Interesting.
Yeah, he played 1 year at Georgia, and then he got benched for another quarterback. And then he left Georgia and went to Washington. So he only played 2 years of college. And then last year, he didn't get any snaps in any practice because he had Phillip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett in front of him.
Yeah.
You know, so he had nothing. His only real snaps that he's ever had in the NFL and even practice has been at the beginning of this training camp. So he's literally been basically a junior college player in experience-wise, taking NFL snaps. So, you know, he's slowly progressing and getting better and better. Now, you wanted to know about Ehlinger. You know, Sam Ehlinger, the Longhorn.
I like how he rolls out and how he uses his feet to extend the throw, like versus running around like and getting hit. He kind of he reminds me of Drew Brees in that way, but I won't say he's anything like Drew Brees. I'm just saying he just kind of rolls like him.
The style, the style of play.
The style of play is very similar to a Drew Brees. Yes, I will agree. And his arm strength is about that same length. I mean, I think Brees has a stronger arm.
For an arm.
Ehlinger's arm strength isn't that good. If you watch, he cannot throw a rope. He throws arcs. Go watch him. All of his throws are arcs.
You said, yeah.
Yes, all of them. And
so you're saying if he needed to make a bullet throw over the middle, it would be tough for him.
It's very, very tough for him. Yes, that's the biggest, 2 big downfalls on Ehlinger. I love his mobility. I love his pocket presence. I like that he seems to be able to break down a defense real well. Right. I like those things, and those things alone can get him a long career in the NFL. Even if it's just a backup, it's still going to be a long career in the NFL. The 2 things that I worry about is his arm strength, which I've already discussed, and his height, because he's 6'1", and you know, we talk about how he moves around in the pocket. A lot of times he's moving around the pocket when there's no pressure, And I think it's because he's only 6'1" and he's standing behind. He can't see around these 6'6" guys' shoulders, right? So he's got to move around to see the whole field. And that has shown up in practice at times as well. So now I'm not saying that that's a detriment to him. There have been plenty of great Hall of Fame, quarterbacks that have been, 6'1" or 6 foot, or even today. I mean, you got guys like Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson and guys like that. But I mean, they have cannons to help them as well.
They have the arm strength behind them too.
So I do like Sam Ehlinger, and he will start today against the Minnesota Vikings.
Really? I didn't know that.
That's not an indictment. Yeah, that's not an indictment on Eason. This was planned out from the get-go. Frank Reich said that because Wentz was out and he wanted a good competition, he was going to start Eason week 1 and then Ehlinger week 2. And give them both about a half of play.
I'm watching it now, and in Ehlinger, one thing that now that you mention it, he does have this one kind of weakness where he has this wind up. Where it's like you want him to more be like, Aaron Rodgers is more like he's
his is like more of a shot put almost.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, if
accurate though,
throw the ball deep, it's almost like a two-step, like a step up. He's almost got to get like a wind up and throw it.
Yeah,
you're gonna worry about getting the ball smacked down by tall, big 7 foot or 6'8" defenders or whatever.
Yeah. You like that throw to Tariq Black or
the go down the sideline, right?
Yeah, you'll notice he put everything he had into those balls, into those throws. He put everything he had, but you just see by the way it was like, like that, and
it's an effort to throw him.
Yeah, exactly. It was an effort to throw it 40, 45 yards.
That is something
that's a problem. About. Yeah.
That's definitely a problem because a lot of those. I mean, like the cover 2 defense, where's the hole in the cover 2 defense? Behind the linebackers, right? Can Ehlinger get those footballs over those linebackers and into that weak spot in that cover 2, which a lot of NFL teams run a base cover 2. And does he have the arm strength to get it into that, to squeeze it into that tight window?
You don't see a lot of Ehlinger between the hash marks throws. No. You don't. You'll see them out on the sideline. You'll see them in the flat. He does a lot of checkdowns. I mean, he gets through his progressions, but in practice, I'd say at least half of his throws are to his checkdowns or running backs and tight ends.
Another thing to consider with that too is what is he going to be afraid to make some of those throws? Like, is he gonna shy away from making some of those throws and check it? He could have an open guy in a cover 2 and know that he's open and still check it down to the running back out of fear of not being able to make that throw.
I don't know, because Phillip Rivers never had an arm strength either, and he was never afraid to throw it down the middle because he had accuracy. Yeah, exactly. But it's about being able to lead your receiver and anticipation, knowing that guy's going to be at that spot in that hole, in that cover 2 before he ever gets there, and then deliver the ball, right? That is something that Ehlinger's going to need to show that he has that anticipation. If he can show he has anticipation to go with the accuracy and understanding breaking down a defense before the ball's hiked, then, like I said, he could have a really good career in the NFL.
Yeah. No, there's no if he continues the progression and and just is able to, he doesn't like, all you have to do is just be like, all he needs to do is just be able to play at game speed. As long he doesn't need to, what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That is there, as long as he can adjust to the game speed, he'll be okay.
What's funny is, before preseason started and Wentz got hurt, the big narrative in national media, local media, everywhere was the Colts needed to go out and get a veteran quarterback like Nick Foles or Trubisky or,
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, or
you can give us a draft pick if you
Gardner Minshew. You heard all this, and then all of a sudden, once you started hearing these things, Eason and Ellinger started bawling out.
Yeah.
Not just in practice, but, during games, like I said, the starting off, Eason, had those 3 sacks. 2 of those 3 sacks weren't his fault. One of them was he held the ball a little over 3 seconds, and got hit. But one of them was a rollout. And as soon as he got his head turned around, it was the perfect defensive call at the time. And it was an edge blitz, safety blitz, hit him right in the face as he turned his head around. Nothing he could do about that. But
that's like that blindside. That's that blindside hit that Newton took last week. Like if they can't see it coming, they can't adjust for it. They can't brace for impact. That hit last week, Lawrence. I swear, I was like, I'm when QBs get hit like that. When QBs get hit like that, it's like I thought we were going to lose him for a month because he got killed. Like they got crushed.
Well, when it comes to Cam Newton, he's not a little dude.
Yeah, no, he's a big guy.
He's not only taken a few hits, he's delivered some hits in his career. You know what I mean? So
tackle him.
It worries. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley. Well, maybe because really, I mean, he seems like a nice guy in real life. You know what I mean?
He is a good dude. I'm sure he's a good guy. Nice guy. He seems like it.
Yeah, on like his YouTube channel, he seems like he genuinely loves football, like to his like soul, his gut, and it just crushes him that he like can't do certain things in the pocket that he wants to do. And hopefully, maybe this year he can. Hey, I'm not
that like I said, that's the most comfortable I've seen Newton look in a pocket since he got here. That last game was the most comfortable I've seen him look inside a pocket throwing a football.
Now I know that there's a bunch. Now, since we're on the back to the New England topic, I know there are a bunch of Mac stands out there, and they're out there saying that Cam is
the Mac stands.
It's what they are, right?
I like it.
And they're out there, basically wishing Cam to do horrible so that Mac can go in. And how can you do that? How can you wish bad for your team?
I don't know. I'm not a Mac stan, but I based a lot of my stuff just on what I saw. Like I based a lot of how I feel towards Newton on what I saw, and don't get me wrong, I'm what I saw last year, but I'm not afraid to give Cam credit where credit's due. That last game that he had, that was the best game he's had since he got here. Since he got here, that was the best he's looked in a long since they signed him. I tend to stick to just what the eyeball test, the facts, and just like until that game, he didn't look good. He looked uncomfortable throwing the football. When the Patriots asked him to consecutively throw a football for like let's say he had to throw 6 or 7 times in a row, he doesn't. He looked tense. He looked tight. The reads just. It just seems like a labor for him to do that. Now, we talked about this on the last podcast. There are some things that you can blame him for and some things that you just can't because he's been a 2-read and go guy his whole career. He's been a 2-read and go because that's what those athletic quarterbacks rely on is that ungodly athletic ability where if they drop back 1001, 1002, and then maybe a half second and they go, they're just going to take their legs and use what the athletic ability they have. Now, those guys are usually 55 to 58% guys. You know what I mean? As you get older, though, that speed goes away. Mm-hmm. So what are you left with? A 55% accuracy thrower that makes 2 reads in a pocket and then kind of just loses composure. And they're trying to teach Cam that they're trying to teach him how to go from that second to third to that's the toughest part is trying to get that guy to stay still and stay in the pocket and make that third and fourth read.
And it's not impossible because Mike Vick did it. Right?
No, it's not.
And I'm about to show my age, but Randall Cunningham, when he started getting older, in his career and moved to Minnesota, he did it there.
He had to do the same thing. He couldn't run anymore. He had to throw.
Exactly.
He was always a pretty darn good thrower, but I know what you mean. Mike Vick's a really good example. One thing that you said earlier, or no, we both said, actually, we both agreed, Bobby, before, I think we were talking about it earlier about Mac Jones, is that there are certain throws that he made last night. I think it was 2 nights ago, that we both don't think that Cam could make on a regular basis, and that Mac's still learning, and that's something that we liked about Mac. But I think that Cam is I would stick with him for a while. There
was a few throws in that first preseason game that I was watching from Mac that the receivers bailed him out. They were bad.
There were a few that were way behind him, and
were way low and behind, and they get it. Yep. So it's not like Mac is some kind of perfect pocket thrower yet.
Oh no. There's still improvements there to be made for sure.
But I do think that there's he's got it's not college no more. This is a professional level with professional level coaching and everything. I think he'll be fine. I just think he needs a little bit of time. I'm just more worried about, yes, I get that you want Mac long term. You want to see Mac, and I'm not necessarily saying you there, buddy. I'm saying in general, a lot of people like
Patriots
that.
Fans.
Patriots fans. That's the long-term plan. That is the end game is to transition from Cam to Mac and just do it as smoothly as possible.
And I would not want to wish ill on a player on my team to do bad. Mm-hmm. I would want them to succeed no matter what. Even if I want this specific guy to succeed, I would want someone else to succeed as well, especially if they are the named starter. You know what I mean?
Hey, a Super Bowl is a Super Bowl. I don't give a crap who we win it with.
I trust Cam at game speed.
Hey, hardware is hardware, man. Who cares who brings it? Who brings it to you? Just take it and enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. And anything. I mean, if Cam comes out and just balls out, then and if people still are rooting against him, then that's just you're not really a Pats fan at that point. But I think that I trust Cam at regular season and playoff game speed right now more than Mac. That's indisputable. But maybe Belichick sees something different.
But that's just a guy who's been that comes from a guy who's been in the league for 10 years. Yeah. It's the experience. Cam's been there and done that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. He's seen everything. So, and I think that I think you're right also. Like I said, I noticed that Cam still moves north and south very, very well.
Yeah.
But his lateral movement has diminished greatly, right? Yeah. So,
but that's agility. You know what I mean? That's agility and quickness. And that's just age. I think that's just the age. And it's we talked about the progression of the career. It's just he's just getting older, and the agility, guys have to adapt. If look at Brady, Rodgers, Manning, Breeze, both Mannings. They were never the most athletic guys, right? They could move in the pocket a little bit when they were younger, but as you get older as a quarterback, to me, the mind and the football IQ become the best weapon in the arsenal. They can walk up to a defense and they can read it. They can look up and read, and they can identify. There was 2 plays where really impressed me with Newton, where he walked to the line of scrimmage, identified the blitzing linebacker, changed the play, and put J.J. Taylor in a spot to pick him up and handle it. And that last year, Cam would have never been able to do that. Never. This year, it was done. He did it twice perfectly. So, I mean, that's a progression there too. So it's not like you said, it's not like it can't be done. It just needs to be drilled into him and how to do it.
I think he was able to do it before he came to New England. It's just the playbook and everything is a little bit different. He didn't understand, what the audibles were and stuff like. He even said, if I remember in a presser where he said, there were times when I walked out there and had no idea what the play was, and that I had to pretty much just kind of wing it, and that
you said that comes like week 8. Remember his comments? I still don't know the playbook, or week 8 or week 9 or something. He still didn't know the playbook.
Because the playbook was so different than what he was used to sitting over there in Carolina, because, a lot of his playbooks was all about the RPOs. And how many RPOs did Tom Brady run? Exactly. Right. So it's all sitting in the pocket doing your reads. You do a lot of play action, things of that nature. There's not a whole bunch of naked rollouts, for Tom Brady. But now he's had his off season to sit there with that playbook and know and read, and because he didn't have that last year. There was no off season last year, and that's a big excuse. That is a reason more than an excuse.
Right.
No, but you're like,
hopefully he's got it this year more.
It just shocked me because I watched that preseason game 1 with Cam, and I was just like, here we go again, man. Here we go again. The same crap. This is what it's going to be. And then you saw, now it was improvements. Like, even though it was against what I think is going to be a really bad Eagles team, like really bad. I think that Eagles team is in trouble. I think they're going to win 5 or 6 or maybe 7 games at the most. But still, it's like,
wait, are you saying it wasn't all Carson Wentz's fault?
No way.
I just think that Eagle team is going to be bad. I think they're going to be bad. There's even the starters. The Pats defensive line absolutely ate that starting offensive line alive. Ate them alive. I think I think that team's in trouble. I think that team's in big trouble. Yeah, and I think Carson Wentz was a big reason why they were as good as they were. And then you take him out of there, and it's like, oh, we're going to try and do Nick Foles again, or whoever it is. I think they're in trouble. I think they're in big trouble.
Yeah, it's a little worrisome because their head coach is in a bad spot. They just hired him. He was the Colts offensive coordinator, right? Yeah. They hired him straight out, and he's a great coach, and he's a guy who will make a player, if you do something not right, you're going to own up to it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
accountability.
And the Eagles never had that before, with Peterson and all them. They didn't have accountability. If you did well, you got great stuff. If someone did bad, blame was thrown all over the place, right? And I was noticing that a lot, and it was with fans.
Peterson never took responsibility for anything either. Yeah, it was never his fault. It was always somebody else's. Yeah,
Sixers have accountability problems too. It seems to be a theme in Philadelphia.
And now, and then they let go of Wentz and trade Wentz off, and they're like, "Oh, Hurts is our guy. Hurts is our guy." And now you hear, well, we're not going to name Hurts right away, and then you hear all these rumors about the Eagles are all in on a trade for Watson. And I don't know if you've heard those, but
I've heard them. They're from what I've been hearing, they're just waiting to see this outcome of what the Watson thing, what happens with that, and then they're going to be. The Eagles are one of the 3 teams that are going to be all in on him.
And honestly, if Watson walks out of this and is able to play, I would be too, because NFL wise, skill wise, Watson is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL.
If he walks out of this with his name clear, it's going to be a bidding war for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like the Bears, I remember a lot of people wanted us to like trade all our picks and everything for him, but like looking back, it's like, hey, we might have the next Deshaun Watson, so we're pretty happy about it.
Can I ask a couple questions to you guys? Because I just want your opinions. I didn't watch the last preseason game with that you guys have talked a lot about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys that I've done film rooms on that I really, really like that the Patriots picked up. Now, there's no question in my mind. I said Jonnu Smith was the best free agency pickup, in my opinion. when it happened.
That catch from him in that preseason, the first preseason game was awesome.
Yeah. But the rookies, I got some rookies that I have a question about. I really, really liked Ramondre Stevenson. I thought that the look from him, I saw a young Frank Gore.
LeGarrette Blount or Frank Gore 2.0.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Have you seen anything from him this preseason? Has he been playing?
He's scored 4 touchdowns in 2 games.
So, wow, Yeah.
And he had the first preseason game they pitched it to him, and it was supposed to be a routine end around, and he ran 88 yards for a touchdown.
Is Harris's job in trouble?
No, I think they're going to platoon them 2 back and forth. Because I think Harris has more stamina than Stevenson, just because Stevenson's 240.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
He's 240, 238 pounds.
Then what's going to happen? Then what's going to happen with Sony?
Right now we have 5 running backs in the running back room.
And they're all going to play because it's the Patriots.
And it wouldn't surprise me if they rolled with 5. It really wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me if some like bubble receiver got cut over guys like Brandon Bolden is a special teams like guru. Like he's a Pro Bowler on special teams. Like and that's a lot of that stuff Bill puts a huge value to. So JJ Taylor had the most yards. He had 93 yards. Yes, in against the Eagles, the most out of anybody in that running back room. It wouldn't surprise me if they rolled with 5, or I think the odd man out is going to be Sony Michel, simply because JJ Taylor's got the youth and he's healthy. Sony he had knee issues last year. He's just the reliability factor could put him on the outside looking in. And JJ Taylor can also catch punts. That way they don't have to sacrifice a receiver or somebody from another position and put them in harm's way catching punts. Taylor can do that. Stevenson also plays on the kickoff. He also these guys with versatility, I think, are going to win out. The young guys with versatility, I think, could beat out some of these guys that are second and third year guys that are on the bubble. Like I want JJ Taylor on the team. I think the kid's explosive. I think he can give James White a breather when he needs to. I think they can platoon him and James White in on passing downs. And I call him Mighty Mouse. I love him. I want him on the team bad. I love
when people call running backs Mighty Mouse.
What's up?
I said I love when people call running backs Mighty Mouse. It's hilarious because they're small.
Well, the other rookie that I had a question about, and I did a film room on just about every rookie for the Patriots because
what did you think about the defensive ones?
Coming into the draft, I thought Christian Barmore was a huge ad. I didn't know how he's going to play.
Feeling for him, Lawrence, I think is like a Will Fork 2.0 if he continue.
I think he's got more mobility than Will Fork.
I just think he can play that role. That guy that's going to suck up blockers. That's going to always demand a double team because the kid's a force. He's a force.
I think he has more potential. So Will Fork is a block eater. That's what he was, and he was like one of the best in the NFL. Period at it ever. Right. I think Barmore can do that. But I also think that he has the ability to get penetration and create problems in the backfield as well. At least that's what I was seeing on film.
Oh, yeah.
It happened with Will Fork occasionally, but, I think Barmore has more potential at that aspect than what Will Fork had. Whereas, Will Fork was more of you could put your whole offensive line on me. I'm going to hold my ground, So
that's what he did because he freed up the linebackers to do what they did because he demanded 2 and 3 guys. Like you needed to block him with 2 or 3 guys because he wasn't moving.
See, I thought Barmore was more of a 4-3
like a Richard Seymour type guy.
Exactly. More of a 4-3-1 tech than a 0 nose is what I was looking at Barmore. But
similar to like a Freeney, Dwight Freeney.
Dwight Freeney was a D end. Dwight Freeney was a 7 and a 9 tech. So no, more of a guy who sets off the edge of the center rather than directly over the center.
All right. So just not like your atypical nose tackle that just sits there and doesn't move.
Mm-hmm. But Barmore, I like Barmore. I think you could actually, if given the right situation, could probably be used in stunts because I really do like his lateral mobility, and that's rare for a tackle in the NFL.
So what how about Perkins and Uche is not exactly like he was last year, but
yeah,
the last 2 years I think the defensive ones have been good. What do you think, Lawrence? What
I think? Okay, so I like where they went defensively. They went heavy defense, outside of Ramondre and Mac. And I like the fact that they did that because their front seven needed help a lot. They needed a lot of help in the front seven because they were getting eaten alive up front, especially last year.
Oh, they were getting run all over last year.
Exactly. And I like where the picks were. I like, for the most part, I thought Stevenson and Barmore and Mac were like, to me, when the pick came up, that's who I had them selecting, right?
Yeah.
So I had 3 selections, bam, 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 and the other guys not so much, but they fit, and I like where they fit. I'm glad that they didn't go heavy in wide receiver because you had a lot of Patriots fans going, we still don't have a number 1, and I'm like, I think you do. I think he just has to grow into it.
Yeah.
And it's not Nelson, I promise you. But I think the Patriots are going to be a well-rounded team. It's just you got to make sure that the quarterback situation is right.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big deal. And I think that well, right now, I mean, your tight end situation is are you going to get some of these guys back soon?
According to reports, they should all be good to go by week 1. They should all be good to go.
Okay.
It's minor stuff, minor little stuff that they're
kind of like with the Colts injuries. All of them are, week 1,
just minor,
week 2, and something like that.
They're not willing to push it in the preseason. That's what it is. It's like let's just let them heal, and we'll go in week 1 and like they're not going to push it. They're not going to push their luck. It's the preseason. They don't absolutely need him to play. They'll be Smith and Hunter Henry will be all right for week 1. They'll be good to go.
Yeah, I don't know about when they grabbed Hunter Henry and paid him the amount of money. I get that there was a love affair there, but I thought Jonnu Smith was the man. I thought Jonnu Smith right there, that was a perfect grab. But no, I see where he says in the chat, I'm lying to your face. Yeah, I'm not. I think Jacoby Myers is the number 1.
No, I think he is. I think
I really do.
He will be.
I did a film room on Jacoby Myers.
Try and get him to fill that Julian Edelman role this year. They're going to try and get him to fill Edelman's role.
Myers didn't get any targets last year because early in the season because Cam Newton didn't even know who he was. He had Edelman to throw to, and he's throwing to Edelman the entire front of the season. Edelman goes down with injury. All of a sudden, he's looking around the field looking for the guy who's open. Myers was always getting open, always making plays in the second half of the season. And, if you don't believe me, go check out my film room. I mean, it is what it is. And I think that I think I said it before the preseason started. I said it right at the end of last year. I think Myers is going to take that number 1 receiving spot for the Patriots this year.
No doubt. I think Myers will be 1. I think Aguilar will be 2. Myers will be 1, Aguilar will be 2, Bourne, and then Bourne and I'm losing the name, but they'll fight for a third spot. But I think Cam's go-to targets are going to be Henry and Jonnu. I think we're going to see something really similar to what Baltimore does with the 2 tight end set, heavy run, Well,
he likes Greg Olsen, so if you can get
that's what I think.
Yeah,
I think Cam's favorite targets this year are going to be the 2 tight ends. I think Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry are set to have big years.
As long as he can get that, as you talking JD, his footwork. He had issues with quick passes right off the snap. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's had like so many foot problems. He's had like a plantar problem, an ankle problem. He has all these problems. So, and his feet, and that's like for a quarterback, it's a nightmare.
Let me run a scenario. What if they platoon both? What if both guys are good enough to play?
And then they're not going to win that many games.
What if they platoon them both back in? What if we see both quarterbacks?
Like Mac and Cam.
Cam Newton plays first, second down.
And, I don't know.
And
what's coming then.
Would it work?
There's a saying in the NFL.
I know what he's going to say.
If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterback.
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah, that's what they used to say about the Saints last year.
Yeah, that's true. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any quarterbacks. That's a fact. It's so true. What else is on the? Let's see the agenda.
I appreciate you stopping in though, Lawrence. Appreciate it.
Not a problem, man. I'm just glad I woke up in time. I'm a guy who's up really late, and I generally don't get up too early. Most of my shows I record, anywhere between 2 p.m. Eastern and later. And when you hit me up, it's like, I'm gonna start this up around 10 a.m. and I'm like, yeah. The only time I ever get up before 10 generally is when I'm heading out to training camp, because that's reporting,
That's awesome.
See, 9 or 10 a.m. is sleeping in for me because I get up at 4 a.m. So it's like that's 6 extra hours of sleep for me. My body's like, yeah.
I've worked before I started doing this full time. I was a third shifter for 15 years. So
there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, daytime sleeping is like nice. So anyway, but yeah, it's great to have such a thorough perspective. We were talking about the Colts, and then I'm glad he brought you in. And I love it if you came because you're on the I-90 that's right along the road, man.
The corridor too.
Yeah. So you're right on here. This is the I-90 podcast. And
I cover the Colts, but man, I cover the entire NFL. I'm a football fan, guy.
Yeah.
I watch and keep track of everybody. So yeah, definitely.
So how can they? So you're at Colts Law on Twitter, right?
Colts _law. Yes.
Colts _law, and then on YouTube, it's Colts Law, right?
It's I have it.
It's
up.
Lawrence Owen. You can type in Colts Law and find it, but it's Lawrence Owen. All right, so
yes,
Lawrence Owen. I got my nose on.
But thanks for the time, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you sitting in with us.
Hey, not a
Everybody
problem,
subscribe
man.
to Lawrence Owen. Get those notifications.
I love having you guys having me on. You feel free to hit me up anytime you want me to come on and give some opinions or whatnot.
Absolutely, man. We look forward to it. Awesome. But it's definitely going to be interesting watching the progression of some of these guys and seeing if they can, because JD, you said it before. Quarterbacks, it's tough for them to not all the time do they pan out.
That was my argument. People were saying that Fields wasn't going to work out because Ohio State quarterbacks don't always work out. It's like, dude, quarterbacks don't work out in general. Like across the board, it doesn't matter where you went to school. Everyone's like, quarterbacks are good. Like
fail before one hits.
Yeah, exactly.
Just remember, Ryan Leaf. They were really thinking about taking Ryan Leaf over Peyton Manning with that first pick. Okay, so
what's his name? Whatever the guy from the guy after Peyton Manning at Tennessee. Yeah, exactly. T. Martin, dude. He was so good in college. Everyone's like, oh, he's so much better than Peyton Manning. He's so much better. He gets to the NFL, he sucks. It's like,
right?
Dude,
look at how high they picked a guy like Blake Bortles.
Yeah, Blake Bortles is another guy. Tons of talent, but
the guy from the Raiders
figure it out.
who decided to eat cheeseburgers out of the NFL.
Oh God,
eat himself right out of the NFL. Yeah,
he was doing more than eting cheeseburgers. He's sipping other stuff too.
Yeah, I know.
Sipping on stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Some people just don't have the mentality to make it in the NFL. And
Crumb says Trubisky's a bust, but I don't think Trubisky's a bust. He's just limited.
think it's a multitude of stuff. Like you need the mentality, right? And a lot of I've played football for a long time. Like I played it for a long, long time. And it's like you could the jump from Pop Warner to high school. That's a talent jump. Then you take the best of the best in high school and they go to college. And then that's from college. You don't understand. There's a lot of people.
Oh, I do know.
You have to put it into perspective, right? There's 320-pound defensive linemen, nose tackles, and D tackles, right? That run 6-second 40s, right? 6-second 40s for a guy that weighs 320. The guys,
the game's faster.
That's what I mean. It's just
so much faster.
That guy chasing you is just as fit. Like if you're one of those athletic quarterbacks, or if you're a quarterback in general, that guy chasing you is just as quick as you, if not faster. So it's like it's such a massive talent jump every time you move up every time you make the stage bigger. It's absolutely a massive.
Aaron Donald can talent
jump
receivers in a foot race.
The NFL, people don't realize the NFL is the best of, even on the worst team in the league, the NFL is the best of the best for college players. That's the best of the best.
And it's not just college; it's national. I mean, you got guys coming from, Europe and stuff coming in
international
here,
markets too. It's those guys too. Yeah,
Africa.
Yeah,
Adewale.
Yeah.
Remember him.
But hopefully
Quiddy Pay.
Yeah,
Quiddy Pays from Africa. So
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're all over the world now. It's a worldwide sport now. No longer.
And they look anywhere for the talent. It's a world, like you said, it's a worldwide thing. Yeah, they're not just focused on the U.S. It's finding guys that can do it all over the world.
Absolutely, man. So, yeah, it's a huge jump. I mean, I don't know what it's like the jump from college to the pros, but I do know that jump from high school to college, and it's massive. And I can only imagine what it's like to go from college to pros. So, guys who make it there, they're studs. Yeah. And go ahead, man.
I remember playing like that jump from Pop Warner to high to, or never mind the jump from high school to college. Like you're like high school guys are like, I don't know, 280, 290, you know what I mean? 280 at probably the most, a big big nose tackle, it's sitting at like 280. And then you get to college and you look across and a dude's looking at you that's like 6'2", 6'3", and he's, 310.
Oh, yeah. The biggest thing with me with college is like, you're like the star of your high school team. You've made all state, right? At your position, in high school. You go to college and you look across from you and you see this guy playing who's, a sophomore or a junior, and you're a freshman walking in, and you're just like, I might not make this team.
Yeah, and you're the best of the best from where you came from. Yeah.
Exactly. And that legitimately happens. I'm telling you, it happens.
It's like I think it's like the top 5% of like high school players get to try for college, and then the top like 5% of them get to try for the NFL, and only like 1% of them even makes it for an extended period of time.
How many collegiate football players are there? 10,000?
Thousands,
right?
Yeah. Thousands.
Probably 10,000.
Basketball's a lot harder.
If you're counting D2 and
how
all
many
them,
do they pick in the draft? How many get chosen to NFL teams? 300. Yeah. You know what I mean? 300 at the most. So 300 out of 10,000.
Well, and then you got, some walk-ons that happen occasionally, and your UDFA stuff like that.
Well, that's what I mean. Maybe 500, maybe like 400 or 500 out of 10,000 get picked.
Exactly.
So
right?
it's like 1%. 1% of those guys are going to get chosen into the NFL.
It's not very many people. Yeah, I mean, you got only 52 people can make a roster. There's only 30 teams. That's the best people in the entire world, and that's it. And everybody else, sorry. Good luck working at a car lot.
Yeah,
probably. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, shoot, John Elway's making millions. He's like selling cars, man. You ask him, he's made, I don't know how he's made more money selling cars around the football field, honestly. But anyway, yeah, man, you've provided like some amazing insight here, and I can't wait to have you on the I-90 pod. I'm a notify everybody. Subscribe to Lawrence Owen on YouTube. Make sure to do that. That's really important.
Hey, do not chew the microphone cord. No, don't. Bad idea.
That's not a good idea.
What is
Bad
that
idea?
Diesel's got to make an appearance every I-90 episode.
He
A
does.
cat? Oh, you got a big cat too.
Big boy.
Nice. Hold on.
He doesn't even care. He's just like, all right, I'm accepting this. This is happening. I have cats too, but they won't cooperate with me, I don't think. Oh my God, he's like falling asleep in your hands. That's hilarious. He's just like, life's too tiring, dude.
Well, hey, Lawrence, 21 and a half pounds.
Gee.
He's bigger than mine. My biggest cat is 18.
Cats are small.
Look at this, dude.
This
Look,
one's
not even-
3 pounds.
this one is only 15, but he's big boy too, though. So. That's
He's
a
like,
big
what
cat.
are you doing with me?
And you know what? Guys who are cat lovers get a bad rep.
They're low
That's a
maintenance,
fact.
man.
They are.
They're low maintenance.
They take care of themselves, man.
Yeah, they're just chilling.
Dude, I'm not, but just on a tangent real quick. I'm not home enough for a dog. Seriously. I'm not
either.
I work 10 to 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday. I'm just not home. My apartment, my condo would get trashed. I like,
Well, if you don't have a yard for the dog to just run around in for 7 hours a day, then it's just, I mean, you're kind of just being, I don't know. It's not good for the dog then.
but I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. Thanks for the time. Thanks for the insight. Much appreciated.
Hey, not a problem. Like I said, man, anytime you want to have me back on, just shout me out.
Please.
Give me at least a day's notice, and then you generally good to go. I'll try to find some way. So
Yeah, I'll definitely give you a heads up for sure.
all right.
But thanks again, man. We're gonna transition into some baseball, and your boy's gonna get a little heated because I'm very happy with Red Sox management finally admitting their damn mistakes that they messed up at the deadline. But thanks again, Lawrence.
Yep.
Much appreciated, buddy. Always good to work with you. I will definitely be in touch. We'll have you on. We're definitely gonna have you back, but
All right. Have a good day, man.
you take it easy, brother.
Tell Lawrence.
Later, man.
All right, you're gonna go on a Red Sox. He said we need a catnip sponsor, Jorge. I agree. Or is it George? I'm not sure. I've
So
heard people go by both.
So we're going to transition into the Sox now, guys. Thanks again to Lawrence for coming on. Much appreciated. That was he's a great football mind to have on. He is.
Yeah, he's giving us all types of information. It was awesome.
So let's transition into some baseball. Now, I don't know if you saw JD, but there's an article out that on multiple different platforms now. Red Sox management upper management has admitted their mistakes. They have said they've basically admitted that. Let me bring the article up. Hold on. Let me bring it up.
Yeah,
They basically said if the Sox don't make the postseason, it's on us.
Hey, at least you can admit it. That's I mean, that takes a lot, honestly.
So the Red Sox management comes out and they basically say if let me try and find it here, guys. I apologize. It basically says that if the Red Sox do not make the playoffs and they continue this tailspin, that it's on us. And you know what? That's They didn't point fingers. They didn't They didn't
like just shrug it off and say, "Oh, whatever."
That's what they didn't shrug it off. They didn't be, there wasn't
they realized that, they weren't, that they were stagnant. They realized they were stagnant, and they're owning up to it. And that's good. I mean, they have a loyal, strong global fan base, so they need to be transparent. In my opinion, it's the global fan bases that aren't transparent. A lot of those fan bases end up stagnant, or they're made fun of a lot. I'm not trying to say just the Cowboys, but a lot of times the Cowboys are made fun of for that reason, is because Jerry Jones is kind of goofball, and you never really know what you're going to get with him, and he's not very transparent. So, I mean, I guess he is transparent, but it's in a very goofy way. So that's, and if you are transparent and you're doing it in a very professional way, like the Red Sox seem to do, I mean, that's good. And George Rubio says, after hearing the outrage coming out of Boston, they admitted that. Yeah, that must have been what it was. They heard Bobby Montaigne on the I-90 podcast, and he was going off. And you gotta admit it. You gotta be like, oh well, I mean, Bobby said we didn't do a good job. He ranted about us in a separate video. We made a mistake. You looked in the mirror, and they understand that Beantown Breakdown knows better than they do. And that's just a fact.
So here we go. Right here it is. It says Red Sox GM, which is Chaim Bloom. It's on the front office if the team misses the playoffs. That's straight from Chaim Bloom, straight from the GM. If they missed there is no reason why they shouldn't have been able to get Rizzo.
You think so?
There's no reason why they shouldn't have. So I'll read you another one. So the quotes continue. It says, first of all, I hope that doesn't happen. This is from hold on here. I can't see. Who is this from? It doesn't say. It says, first of all, I hope that doesn't happen. And it says Sox general manager general manager GM. So it's not Chaim Bloom. I take that back. That is Brian O'Halloran. It says he's prepared
got Gallo and Rizzo.
Prepared for the front office to take the blame for his team missing, or if the team misses the playoffs. Excuse me, guys. I'm trying to read this off of a text message here. And then he went on WEEI further saying that I hope that does not happen, but does not dismiss the possibility that it could.
I mean, you're in the best division in baseball
right now.
Am I right about that? Yeah, like the Rays, Yankees, Sox. Yeah, like I haven't seen the record in the last week or so, but I believe it was the best division last time I looked. And you every little thing matters, right? Every little thing matters. The Yankees obviously are going to be the Yankees. They're going to get Gallo, I mean, I agree. If you could have gotten Rizzo, you should have gotten Rizzo. He said Rizzo was definitely in play. We should have got Rizzo. It seems to be a consensus.
Rizzo was definitely in play.
Even the GM agrees.
There was no reason why they shouldn't have been able to get him. None.
That's a failure. I mean, that'd be a failure from the GM's point of view.
And that. It's been a while since I've seen them actually take responsibility for something. So I personally think that they're feeling the heat about it. I think they're feeling the heat from fans, from the I think the heat's just been cranked up on them because they can't continue to perform like this. They can't do it. What's up, Coach? Coach K in the house. What's up, man?
K. What up, man?
But they can't continue to they can't continue to just ignore it. It's gotten to the point where they can't ignore it anymore. That's a good way of putting it. They've tried to I think they hope that it would that the Sox would pull out of it and just continue their their winning ways, but it really did take a toll. So to see somebody in the front office finally being like, someone in the front office, it doesn't have to be Heimblum or Henry, but somebody in that front office, the GM.
I was about to ask, was it Henry, or it wasn't Henry though? Who said that?
No, it wasn't John Henry or Heimblum. It was Brian O'Halloran.
He's going to get fired for saying that. Is he not?
The Boston Red Sox general manager.
About your bosses, kind of, are you not, or no? Is he on their level?
No, he's not on their level, but he is saying it. He's not like Heimblum and Henry, but he is. But if what that tells me is that Heimblum and Henry feel the same way.
Oh, okay.
Or at least Heimblum. So? If the GM is,
he's not talking negative, like he's not talking behind his
back.
No,
I think he's just saying the facts. I think he's echoing what upper management is feeling.
Hey, he said you don't manage the Red Sox, the Yankees the same way you manage. Yeah, that's exactly true. Well, when you got all that money,
that was like the take I had last time. That was the take I had last time. It's the take I had last time was you're worth like $3.5 billion. Like just crazy. Sacrifice the 500,000 or 600,000. Like that's what it like. That's like let's be honest. That's like 5 games. You know what I mean? Like that's like 5 games for them. You know what I mean? Like 5 revenue games for them. So you're telling me you're not gonna, you're not willing, that's like it's a confidence thing though. Like that doesn't bode well for like you're gonna tell me that you're not willing to sacrifice the income of 5 games to go win a World Series championship. Like, come on, like what's that say? Like we're the Boston Red Sox. We're not some low-level team like the Brewers, like the Brewers or some team that doesn't put a lot of fans in the stands.
No, yeah, I know what you mean though. It's one of the top 5 franchise. Well, it's one of the top 10 franchises in all of American sports.
Yeah.
So across the board. So like if you're one of those big franchises, you expect to make big moves when you need to, or when you're close to a championship. So
you make the moves you need to win.
And we'll see what happens. Maybe it's all about, we talked about it, I think last time, it's all about getting hot at the right time with baseball. Momentum. We'll see. Yeah. The momentum carries you so far. Momentum it's like a wave. It can crash or it can keep on going. We'll see what happens, but I agree that if you are one of those franchises and you do have the payroll that you have, then you should be getting every single guy possible. You should be like the Dodgers and Yankees, just cashing the F out. And the Cubs, they do cash the F out when they need to, but the Cubs know that they're trash right now. So we've accepted.
There's a, like you said before in our, in episode 1, there's a fire sale going on over there. Now, do you think they're just trying to get collateral for the draft and
they're just rebuilding? Yeah,
I was just gonna say rebuilding the youth and the farm system and just kind of like plan for 5 years down the line, 3 to 5 years down the line.
What I think is that they don't believe that they had neither the hitting nor the long-term pitching to make a serious run. So they were just like, okay, we have a few guys, we'll sell the big money guys that we have, we'll try to get as much money as we can, and then we'll try to build on new stars. Also, I hear that Javier Baez might be back next year, so we'll see.
That's good for you guys then.
He's pretty young too, so he's like, you could build around him. Yeah.
Oh no, you definitely
miss him.
Now, what the like right now the Sox are not in a spot, like they're not, let's be honest, they're not playing like they're playing right now. They're not in a spot to, like let's say they had to beat the Astros to get into the world, to get to the World Series. Yeah. I don't have a lot of confidence in them doing that right now. The Astros, they're just, if you from top to bottom on that roster, I think they're just a better overall team.
I'm looking at the AL standing.
You know what I mean? Like teams like having to go through teams like the Astros, having to go through teams like the Rays, even getting past the Rays right now for the Sox would be tough. But like having to play the Astros in the postseason, like that.
Well, yeah, and They're only
that's a tall,
game and a half
especially
back.
with the pitching the way it is. It's a very, very tall ask, like a very tall ask for them to do.
They'd either have to play the Rays, the Yankees, or the Athletics, probably, right, for that wild card. If they got in the wild card, is that right?
If they get in the wild card, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
yeah,
the Rays are going to make the play. There's just it's a tall ask right now for them to stay in contention. It's a tall ask.
Yankees are on an 8-game winning streak. My God, 9 of the last 10. Jeez.
They've caught fire. 9 of the last 10 and 8. I think eight in a row now.
Insane. So that's not good for the Red Sox. What would really help the Red Sox? When's the next time that they face the Yankees? Let me see.
They have to sweep them the next time they play them.
That would give them a crap load of momentum if they could really get in a solid series against.
I think it's in September.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, there's not one for in a month. Wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's tough. You got like a whole month and a half to do it, but you got to start building momentum right now if you're the Red Sox. That's for damn sure.
They have got to sweep these. They have got to sweep this series coming up. They have got to sweep this series. They should absolutely beat this Ranger team every night. They should beat this team every night without a question. They're the better team. They got better talent. They should absolutely do it.
Definitely.
It's just nice. Like I said, it's nice to see somebody from, it might not be Chaim Bloom or Henry, but somebody from the front office is taking account of, like, they feel the pressure, which is, it's like, it's about
they're acknowledging it. Like,
yeah,
hey,
they're acknowledging that they
heard you guys
that they screwed up.
And we probably should have done something. And my bad. We'll look into that in the future.
Our bad, guys. Sorry. We might not make the postseason because we were cheap. Sorry.
I don't know if that's a good. If I'm the owner of the Red Sox, I don't know if that's what I want to hear, like, or the owner group or whatever, the ownership group. Like, I'm just like, okay, thanks, I guess, for wasting the year. But anyway, at least you acknowledged it. But yeah, he says our offense has been trash against good teams. Man, I can't wait for the postseason. That sounds really familiar. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait either. The baseball is so unpredictable. That's why it's like, I fall in and out of the season every year because I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute, the team's on a 5-game losing streak. What? I thought they were doing well. It's crazy.
All right,
but
so let's head back down I-90, Coach. Not Coach, JD.
JD, yeah, that's all good.
We're gonna head back into the Windy City. I want to ask you something. So I was reading something the other day about your Chicago Bulls, and they are apparently entertaining trades or exploring trade options for Lauri Markkanen.
Yes. Oh, yes. Maxi Kleber was one guy.
Kleber, right? Yeah,
was one guy they were talking about. I would absolutely love that because I think that would be one of the dumbest things that Dallas could do, and I can tell you exactly why. And this is just my opinion, but I really believe this to be true. After watching both Maxey and Lowry, I can tell you, like, for like years actually, both of them a lot, because I've watched both. I watched a lot of Dallas games. I watched a lot of Bulls games. So I have seen both of these guys play extensively a lot. Maxey is a much better overall modern player for today. Lauri Markkanen is a very, very, very poor man's, like a broke man's Dirk Nowitzki. Like, you give him the ball and he can maybe make something happen sometimes. He can make some shots. He is okay down low. He's okay kind of like with the hook shots and the passing, and he's a solid player. But Maxi Kleber is like a 6'8", Robert Covington type of 3-and-D. Like, he guarded Kawhi Leonard well. Like, he didn't overwhelm him, but he gave him problems.
Kleber's defense is much better.
If you're a Bulls fan, I want him. As a Luka fan, I'd feel bad giving Luka Lauri Markkanen. I would feel bad because Luka's going to give him the ball, and then Lowry's going to start dribbling, and Luka's going to be like, "What are you doing? Shoot it, you idiot!" So it's going to be bad for Luka if he gets Lauri Markkanen. I'm going to be very sad.
That would be a good pickup for the Bulls, though. Defensive, on the defensive side, Kleber is very good.
Lonzo to Kleber would be money because Lonzo's he's gonna drive and then Kleber's wide open 3-point shot.
And Kleber can shoot the mid-range jumper really good.
He's a great shooter. He kind of reminds me of Danilo Gallinari, only he's bigger and plays better defense. He can't shoot as well as Danilo Gallinari. Gallinari went nuts sometimes, but he's got that jumper shot where he can shoot from the mid to the 3. No, I like him. He's tall. He's big. He's tall. He can shoot. He's French, and they came in silver this year. French are really good basketball players, man. You got a lot of good players.
There's a lot of guys coming out of France now that are very good, very good.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I think that would be a great play for a great trade for the Bulls. So I have completely mixed feelings about it. As a Luka fan, I don't like it. As a Bulls fan, I absolutely love it. So
because it would hurt. It would hurt Doncic losing. I
think that would be crazy for Nico Harrison for to be his first trade. To be his first trade to trade Maxi Kleber, a guy who Luka has a lot of rapport with, that'd be just nuts. But he said, I like Kleber. I would trade for Markkanen. You would okay. So Karam thinks that he would trade for Markkanen. See, this is really like a point of opinion. Like as a Bulls fan, I don't like Markkanen. I
think Markkanen is too slow. I think Kleber plays the game at a quicker pace, and I think he would fit that. I think the Bulls are going to be up tempo with what they got now, and I just don't think Markkanen fits that because I think he's too slow. I think Kleber would fit that style of, at least to me, that's how I think the Bulls are going to play. But I mean, you're a Bulls, you know the Bulls better than I do, but that's how I think they're going to play. So I think Kleber would fit better.
What I'm kind of mind blown about is that this is even I'm sure this has to be the Bulls camp floating this. It has to be. Who even I'm not even trying to be a jerk to him. He's an okay player, but who even really wants Lauri Markkanen right now? Does anyone really even want him? Dallas actually wants him? I don't believe that.
What's his market? What's his market?
Yeah, what's his market? Kleber's market. All 30 teams want Maxi Kleber at that money that he makes. He makes $8-9 million. Let me double check.
I think it's 8 or 9, something like Kleber, that. It's not a lot at all.
A 3-and-D guy who's 6'8" at $8.9 million for 4 years. What? you want an unrestricted free agent that you have to pay, who may be slightly a little bit more talented than Kleber overall, but doesn't play the same style and doesn't play them as efficient of a style as Kleber does? I think that's insane. That's absolutely nuts. Felicio, we can't trade Felicio. I believe we cut him. Pretty sure he got cut.
You would have to release him. You'd have to cut him.
I'm pretty sure we already did release him, but I don't know. Let me double check that. Actually, I could be wrong.
I think you would have to cut him, right? What's up, Damian?
But yeah, no, I don't even understand why in the world the Mavericks, if they do this, that'd be a one solid step to losing Luka Doncic long term. That'd be a solid step forward to losing him. But hey, come to the Bulls. Join your friend Maxi. Come on, come to the Bulls. Forget it. I don't need to even have this Dallas jersey anymore.
Can you imagine Luka in a Bulls uniform?
So great. Oh, I can't imagine.
Luka, Lonzo, Maxi,
Vucevic, Levine.
Yeah.
Oh God, we'd win. Oh, we'd win, dude. We'd win. We'd need one more defender, and we'd win. We'd win a title for sure. If we just had Luka and one more defender, wing defender. Oh God, that'd be so. Man, this is exciting. What a great podcast so far. Man, this is awesome. All right, what's the next topic? We got Robert Williams.
Yeah.
Or no, we not doing that yet. Are you gonna do something else?
No, we can jump into the Robert Williams stuff. So we'll come back to Boston, take another about 12-hour drive down the pike and back into Massachusetts, and we're going to talk about the Celtics. And again, they make another move. This time it's keeping one of their own in-house, though. They extend Robert Williams 4 years, $54 million. So about probably I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk here, but it's brain and mouth disconnect. for that kind of money for Williams, I think it's a good deal. I like it. I like the money. I like the deal. I like Williams. And now that Al Horford's back, don't underestimate how Horford's going to be mentoring Robert Williams too. So I think he's only going to get better too. Like, I think it's a good deal. I like the money. I like the length. And Williams last season was one of the very few bright spots on that team.
I agree. And I think he's athletic. I think he's young. I think he does exactly what Brad Stevens wants him to do. I think he had a good price. The only thing I would question at all now is now you have about like $42 million, I think, each year in the center position. So with that being said, you guys better play dang good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
the defense better be good.
The defense better be like the rim protection better be not a problem anymore, because it was a problem. It better not be anymore. There better be no problems. So
you got Horford, Cantor, and Robert Williams.
Well, Cantor's not much of he'll help on offense, but
not much of
Horford,
a defender.
Though.
Horford and Williams will be the defensive guys.
Keep everybody in line, yeah. And Williams can do it too. He's athletic.
Cantor, I do like the money though. I like the money. I think that's a good for somebody with as high a ceiling as I think he has. I think I think the money's good. I think the length is good.
I like it too.
The one of the concerns though is for Robert Williams, JD, is the health. He's got to stay healthy. The guy's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay on the court.
Well, and the price of everything is going up. Like centers, I mean, honestly, NBA players across the board, it sounds like a lot of money now. Wait 2 more years. Wait till people are making $55 million a year on their contracts, which they're just about there. Like, but the next CBA agreement, they're going to make like $50-60 million a year. So $10 million, it's going to look really good a couple of years from now. So that's what Brad Stevens is thinking. He's thinking, okay, I'll pay a lot now, but wait for the salary cap to go up. Then that money won't look so big, and it won't matter as much. So
they're planning ahead with that. They're
planning ahead. Smart. They're like saying, we'll take this young guy, give him some money. If he works out, great. If he doesn't, it wasn't that much money anyway. So,
yeah. Now, one other thing that I did read, and I want to kind of get your opinion on, is I read an article, and it was a few articles actually, and they were saying something that the roster shakeup and movement for the Celtics is not done. Marcus Smart just signed a new deal as well with them. Mm-hmm. Now, there's rumors and rumblings going around that he could be a part of the shakeup, and they could sign and trade him.
I got something for you. Give me 1 second, and you'll be happy when I show you. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, so it's a hint about what this trade is really going to be about. This is what Brad Stevens really wants. Here, let me make sure the camera can see it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Dame.
That's what it's really about. It's about Dame. That's what they want. They're looking at, all right, Jaylen Brown. All right, draft picks.
Tatum was trying to recruit him in the Olympics, from what I hear.
I mean, why wouldn't you? He's Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard's not going to – okay, Dame Lillard needs a big brand. He needs a team that can attract free agents and has a good coach that can get to the finals, that has made to the playoffs a lot without him. You know, that's the Celtics. And then he needs a co-star who's like a superstar co-star, Jason Tatum.
Yep.
There it is. Dame Lillard, Jason Tatum, Al Horford. That's a championship contender. That is. Because you got all of what you need in the playmaking position. You got all of what you need from like
Jaylen Brown in that mix too in the starting five.
The spacing will be insane, dude. Like Dame Lillard creates almost as much spacing as Curry because of how far he shoots. So Lillard's just like dropping 45 bombs, and then Tatum's just taking you to the rack every time or shooting 3-pointers. It's like you got a great team. So I hope they get him.
Now it's either Dame's a possibility, but he's very good friends, I think, with Bradley Beal as well.
These are worn too. You check this out. Yeah, I've been balling, dude. That's balling right there.
No,
he's good friends with Bradley Beal. Tatum's friends with Bradley Beal. Their kids are friends. Bradley Beal would be good too. But who's your playmaker?
I just thought the article was interesting, or the article, or just that thought of entertaining a smart trade. They sign him to a deal and then they trade. Like, it could happen. It could. I know.
Who would you want?
I know that they're sick and tired. The Celtics are sick and tired of falling short. I know that they're sick and tired of getting there and not being able to get over that final obstacle to get to where they want to be. So it wouldn't surprise me to see them make another roster move. But that would be a big time. That's a big move there to get a guy like Dame or a guy like Bradley Beal to the Celtics. That would definitely create some hype and some momentum for them. Absolutely.
If they got Bradley Beal, who's their playmaker? That's my question.
It would probably be a combo of Beal and Tatum. They would probably work together.
I don't know if I see.
I
want.
I don't know if Tatum would want to give the ball. Tatum wants the team to be his. I think that's their goal. They're trying to prove to Tatum that they're trying to show him that the team they want him to lead. They want him to be the leader of the team. Now, a move to bring Dame Lillard and or a Dame, like a guy like Damian Lillard or a guy like Bradley Beal. No offense, but those names are bigger than Jason Tatum.
I think Dame is, Beal is not. That's what I think. I think Dame is much bigger than Tatum. I think that Beal is not bigger than Tatum, but I would much rather have Dame if I'm the Patriots, if I'm the Celtics, personally. And here's what I would do if I could only get Bradley Beal. I'm giving a call to, and I don't care what I got to give up. I mean, I obviously care what I have to give up, but I'll give up a little bit to get Rajon Rondo, because there is a guy who can bring you a title. That's a guy who can.
Rondo's a pass first. Like we said it in episode 1. They don't need a point guard. They don't need a point guard that's going to be ball dominant. They need a guy who's going to score 9. Like a guy who scores 9 points a game and gets 12 assists a game. That's the guy they need.
Like 2 steals, yeah. No, I like it. I would love that. And Rajon Rondo's already won. He's been to 3 titles with the Celtics, or 2 title runs with the Celtics or something like that. He's won 1. I would love that. I would love to see Rajon Rondo come back to the. Is he a free agent this year, or is he still in contract with the Clippers? I don't even know anymore.
They need a guy like him. Like that style of play. They need a guy who's not a ball hog, who's going to be completely fine with scoring, 10 points a game. And he could go 10, 10, and 3, Yeah,
and I would like that. I think that CP3 would have been a really great option had it been an option, but it's too late now. Obviously, he's going to be with the Suns for probably the rest of his career. No, I agree. I think that'd be really great. I think that'd be really great for the Celtics. He said, would Rondo want to come back? I don't know. He said
they would have to talk to him, because I think he left on a sour note. I think he left kind of on a bad note. They would have to talk to him.
Yeah, but Danny Ainge is gone.
Yeah.
And who else is gone? The coach, I forgot his name.
Brad Stevens.
Doc Rivers.
It's a new team.
Yeah, and Brad Stevens he's the GM, not the coach. He said Portland needs to tear it all down. I kind of agree with that. Portland, Rondo's getting old. No, I agree, but the reason why you want Rondo is because he's old. You got all these young guys, and they need
you don't want him to want to be the focus. If Rondo, I think at this point in his career would be perfectly fine with not being,
he doesn't have to start, but like a few passes a game that like from him, and also he can. This is what I told Bobby a few times. He's the only guy in the entire league right now that can look at Tatum in the eyes and say, "Listen, man, you got to listen to me a little bit, because I'm the only one in the league who put a banner up there." He can look up in the Celtics and the Garden, and he can say, like I put that banner up there. Did you put that banner up there? I did. So like,
yeah, I was a part of that team that put that banner up there. Yeah, yeah, no
just
doubt.
for a mentality thing. I don't know, but I'm not in the locker room. I don't know how it is, but that's how I would think it would work out. Who knows though?
You want an unpopular opinion and a hot take?
Go for it, please.
I would, if push came to shove, I like Jaylen Brown's mental facilities over Jason Tatum. I think Tatum's a little bit mentally soft, and if somebody offered me the right trade, I'd probably trade him.
You trade Tatum over Brown?
Over Jaylen Brown. Yep. Because I think Tatum's mentally soft. Can he shoot? Can he shoot?
Baby.
Can he shoot? Absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. Tatum can shoot. Tatum's a playmaker, but I think he's mentally soft.
But Tatum is one of the greatest players in the league. I mean, he's one of the top.
But if you're telling me I could get Dame Lillard here.
He is a ball hog. I mean, oh, you're saying, oh. Whoa. Dude, he just flipped this entire trade up on its
do you know what I'm talking about?
Wow. You guys hear that?
You're telling me, I'm just going off of mental. I think Jaylen Brown's more mentally strong than Tatum is. That's all. Yeah, and to win a title, it takes a lot of mental fortitude. You got to, it's a grind. Winning an NBA title is a grind. And I don't know if Tatum's ready for that yet. That's all.
Dude, I just got another trade. All right, I just got another trade in my brain. Think about this. All right, this is like the ultimate Celtics trade, like ultimate, like getting like huge depth trade. Okay,
I'm just going off of what I saw last year and how his body language was when they were losing. I'm just going off of that. That's all. I'm going off of that. I think and don't I'm gonna get crushed for this, but here's the thing. I know he's still young. I know he's got a lot of learning to do, but I think he's stubborn and I think he's mentally soft, and I don't like it.
He dropped 50 points in the playoffs, though.
I know that.
Win. All right.
I'm just saying. I think his skill set is not in question. The guy can score and shoot, and believe me, he's an incredible talent. I just think he's a little mentally soft and needs somebody to kick that out of him. You know what I mean? He needs somebody to push that out of him and teach him how to just ignore. You know what I mean?
I agree. What if you traded Tatum and somebody else, or like whatever, just a random pieces or whatever, for Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum? So then you have a starting point guard, a starting shooting guard, a starting three, and then you have Horford, and you have like everyone else.
Now, lots of people in the chat are making the point. Ime Udoka is the new coach, and hopefully he can get Tatum to listen and kind of
a year at least,
and kind of guide him, right?
Yeah, he said, no, bro, both old. Yeah, I kind of agree, actually. The more I said it out loud.
So here's the thing. If Ime Udoka, who Tatum incredibly respects, and he respects him a lot, if he can't get to Tatum and teach him how to be more mentally tough, that's my biggest concern with him is the mental toughness.
When you say mentally tough, what do you mean by that?
I said it last year, JD, last season, that the body language was a problem. He would just
the body language.
Body language and just his mental, he was just mentally soft at times. And I know he's young, and I know he's, you know what I mean?
It wasn't like Luka, where it's like he's.
And I know it's a flaming hot take, like red hot take. That's the one thing that bothers me with Tatum is the mental toughness.
I mean, I don't know about, like, when you say mental toughness, like, I think of, like, whenever I think of, like, mental toughness, I think of, like, okay, whenever the playoffs come around, the person shrinks. So that's where I'm like, okay, he's definitely not that. He doesn't have that problem. He definitely doesn't have that issue. Tatum doesn't shrink in the playoffs. He dunked on LeBron when he was a rookie. But I think I know what you mean. He's not.
It's the maturity,
projecting
the maturity, just
energy to his team as the leader.
It's all about
right?
him. Yeah, it's him, exactly. him. And sometimes you can't win on your own, and I don't like that.
He's number 8 Kobe, and you want number 24 Kobe.
Yeah,
there it is. We figured it out. I can agree with that. I mean, he's definitely He's not Kobe. He's bigger than Kobe, but he's not as offensively
But
gifted as Kobe.
It's that mentality. It's like
but it's the mentality.
He tries to do it on his own and not involve anybody. And it's like, that's not how this works, kid. You got to work on it. You got to work as a team.
Especially not with the Celtics. The Celtics, I did a video about this one time about why the Celtics needed to trade Kyrie Irving. And back then, Kyrie Irving was the problem for the Celtics because, okay, keep in mind, this is the timeline. 2018, the Celtics have Isaiah Thomas and a bunch of good players, Terry Rozier, Jason Tatum, all these guys. They take LeBron 7 games to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? 7 games. Like, so they think at this moment in time, they're thinking, dude, we are right there. We only need just to make a little bit of adjustments and we'll be in the finals. Then they trade for Kyrie Irving thinking that, oh, this is going to push us so far over the top that we'll be so much better. And they were way worse because Kyrie Irving was doing ISO. Tatum was beginning to become more of an ISO. And now that Tatum's seen that way of playing, it's hard for him to go back to being part of the system that he was that brought him to the Eastern Conference Finals. Am I right about that?
Well, yeah, there just seemed, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but it is what it is. There are times where Tatum just seemed really selfish and didn't want to give the ball, and didn't want to include any of his teammates, Brown included. Right.
Well, you got to include Brown. He's such a talented player. He really is.
No, I know, and I agree, but that's what I mean. There were times that just absolutely drove me batshit crazy because he wouldn't. It just seemed like it was all about him, and that's it. And it's like you can't. And I understand that he's still super young and he's still got a long way to go and a lot of learning. But that is my biggest concern with him is that me mentality never goes away.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you. And honestly, the more I think about this trade that we're talking about moving around, I don't know if you have to trade Brown or Tatum at all. I think that you talked about trading Smart. It's not the worst idea. Like you could explore what you get with him, you know what I mean, and maybe some draft picks and stuff. You want to make a run this year, though.
People underestimate too. Sorry to interrupt you. People underestimate the mental. Like you need mental toughness to win a title, and if it's not there, you could have all the talent in the world, and if you don't have any mental tough, look at the Lakers. 0 mental toughness. They had all the talent on that team in the world, and they gave up. LeBron walked off the court. You know,
he did.
The talent was there to win titles, to win multiple titles.
I don't know if that's the reason why they lost, but he definitely walked off the court. That was weak.
He gave up. He gave up. And if you're gonna do that, and you're gonna be focused on you over the team, and just be mentally soft, you're never going to win. You're never going to win.
People want to forget that about LeBron. People want to forget how much of a baby he really can be sometimes. And like, that actually really bothers me because you know, what's funny is like, I give LeBron credit where credit's due. As much as I criticize him, as many videos as I've made, like kind of trashing him a little bit, it's just, I've given him credit, but like people want to like Isaiah Thomas, he walks off against Michael Jordan. And he walks off against Larry Bird, and he pisses a lot of people off. He gains that reputation. It's a well-earned reputation of being a bad sport. LeBron does the same thing, but because he's the media's little like buddy or whatever, they love him so much. I don't want to say anything too offensive. Because he's their whatever, they just can't talk bad about him. It's not his fault. His team sucks. Don't blame him. It's pathetic.
He's got Anthony Davis himself. There was enough there to win another title. There was enough there on that team to win another title. They just I'm just telling you, as a Celtic fan, my biggest concern is my biggest concern is some of those guys on the team are they can be really selfish in times where they, you know, it's the maturity. They have to mature as a team, and if they don't mature as a team, it's like, how long are you willing to wait? How long are you willing to give them to mature? And when do you cut that cord and be like, all right, we got to try something new?
I think the hope is you brought back Horford, so Tatum no longer feels like he has to. Tatum should feel like, I don't know if he does, he should feel like Horford is a guy who you can get to the Eastern Conference Finals with, and maybe even the finals with, because you were literally right there. Mm-hmm. So even though he's older, you still know he has the mentality and he knows what to do to get there. And you honestly didn't have much more than what you have in that team right now. The only other piece that you're missing is, or I guess the only 2 pieces are Jay Crowder and Isaiah Thomas. Isn't that it? Like, who else am I thinking?
Yeah,
Terry Rozier. Sorry,
Rozier too. Yeah, you got Rozier.
So you're missing a few guys, I guess, but Giannis and KD are better. Well, yeah, LeBron is not the best. We can talk about that for a few more if you want. LeBron is not the best player in the world anymore. You want to talk about that, or you want to skip that?
No, it's we could go for a few. I mean, if you're talking to, if you want to put players above LeBron, I'd put KD, I'd put Giannis, and KD and Giannis are the two that I would absolutely put above him.
I think Steph is better than LeBron because LeBron is not.
Curry's definitely better than him right now. It is at this point, absolutely.
LeBron is not an elite defender anymore. Okay, he's average to above average defender depending on his matchup. Against Trae Young, he is trash. Watch Trae Young versus LeBron James. You're gonna laugh your ass off. Trae Young craps on LeBron James. He is completely dominates LeBron.
Trae plays both. Trae plays both ways. That he's a fun guy to watch play.
He's amazing. Trae Young is one of the best young players that we've ever seen, and LeBron. Like I would argue, LeBron. Like let's name players that we can name over LeBron. Okay, Giannis, I would say is inarguably better than LeBron right now. KD is better than LeBron right now. Steph, I think he is. He can drop
as much as I hate the guy Kyrie.
I'm not going to give Kyrie that much credit. You can.
Because Kyrie plays as much defense as LeBron, but I just think he can shoot better at this point.
You can give it to him. I'll give him. I'll say Harden's on the same level as LeBron. I'd say maybe offensively he's better than.
They're
LeBron.
About the same. Yeah, Harden and LeBron are about the same.
Kyrie, I'm not going to give him that. I don't even think Kyrie is very valuable personally. A lot of people like
he's
Kyrie.
A head case though.
I don't like
absolute
him.
Head case.
Trae Young, who's JD, who's better, Trae Young or SGA? Trae Young. Sorry, Karam. Trae Young's better. I know SGA is a better defender and he's bigger, but Trae Young does more to the.
Trey's got the mentality. Trey's got the mentality.
Killer. He's an absolute murderer. Like he's honestly I don't even know if there's that many better like cold-blooded shooters than Trae Young. Like he's like right. It's him and Curry are right there. It's just deadly.
No.
So Murray or Fox. Ooh, this will be fun. We're gonna have a game.
Let's take like 15, 20 minutes of questions from the chat, JD.
Okay.
And then we will roll on out of here. But this was a good show, man. Once again, big thank you to Lawrence Owen for stopping by and giving us
he was great.
Football insight. We are definitely going to be working with him again.
Please, anytime. Yeah, all football season, hopefully.
Hold on. Hold on. I got to go. There's a spider up in the corner of my wall, and I'm not even joking. It's the size of a $50. I got to go get rid of this thing.
Take care of it.
If not, I'm going to have nightmares. So give me like 30 seconds, and I'm going to
talk about basketball.
I'm going to go squash him with my flip-flop right now.
All right. So we talked about the better players than LeBron. So I'm going to go Giannis, KD, Steph. That's 3. I'm going to say Luka Doncic is better because if you look at what he does every game, I mean, it's hard to argue that and also he plays defense. He doesn't play amazing defense, but he plays defense. So I'm going to give 4 people better than LeBron James right now. Kawhi Leonard, that's interesting. I'm going to say no. It's very close though. Lissandro, I kind of agree with. He said he's probably better. On some nights, I would agree with you. On some nights, I think it's close. It's close, man. Like Kawhi is right there with LeBron. Because here's the thing, man. LeBron, he's not a walking bucket anymore, bro. He's not going to physically dominate you anymore. He doesn't want to hurt himself anymore. You can tell he's like ever since that groin, like he'll have his explosive nights, right, where he just feels great, and that's LeBron. He's doing his LeBron thing, and he's like LeBroning all over people. But then you have those other nights where it's like, oh, that's the matchup. Well, this guy's guarding me well. LeBron's very timid. So is he still a top 10 player? Sure.
I got him. We're good.
I feel like him, Kawhi, and who is it? James Harden. They're all on the same level. LeBron, Kawhi, and James Harden. They're like tier 2. Like tier 2.
I think there's like 1A, and then like tier 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they're like 1A, right?
Yeah, they're like a 1A.
Yeah. So like the first tier, it's got to be like KD, Steph, and Giannis. Like they're the ones who are just like, okay, these guys are just absolute killers. Let's see here. Jokic or Embiid? We talk about that for a second.
Jokic. Give me Jokic any day of the week. Embiid is a 7 foot tall.
So
sissy.
hard. It's so hard.
He's a 7 foot tall sissy.
I would take Jokic, but it's closer than what Bobby's saying. I would say Jokic. The reason I take him is because you can build. Anyone can be a star when Jokic is in the game. Embiid is generally that he has to dominate the ball in order to be really good. Jokic can just play alongside anyone. You can plug Jokic into any team and he'll help the team. Embiid might stagnate the team. He, like you said, he's kind of a statue. But if I need one bucket down low in the entire league, give me Embiid.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
one.
oh, yeah. Joel, just stand here and dunk this ball.
Even more than Giannis. It's either him or just wow. God, they're so good. Tatum or Booker? I mean, you gotta go with Tatum.
Booker.
Defensively, I gotta go with Tatum. I mean, Booker, he's small. He's very small. Booker is a killer, though. Like mentally in the brain, oh god, he's a killer.
Yeah.
But Tatum,
I'm telling you, man,
bigger. Big guy. 6'8".
If Tatum could ever get over that mental hurdle that he has, he's going to be a problem for a lot of people for a long time. But he's got to get over that. He's got to get over that mental hurdle.
He needs to worry less about being a superstar and more about being a champion. That's what I think. Yeah, that's I think his biggest problem. Westbrook or Irving? That's a good one. I'm gonna go Westbrook. I'm gonna go Westbrook. He's more reliable. Plays more games. I'll
go at Westbrook too because Irving's a head case, and you never know what you're going to get with him.
Yeah, he's more raw talent. He's more raw talent. Irving does.
You never know what you're going to get with him, though. Irving's a head case.
Yeah. Irving is like Westbrook is completely and utterly dedicated to the game of basketball. He's completely in. Irving is like, I don't know, maybe see how I feel next week.
So, do y'all got any questions for us? Anything you want us to talk about? Anything you didn't hear us talk about before we get out of here? Episode 2 of the I-90 Sports Podcast.
We got 2 hours to upload on.
Yeah.
John Waller, CP3 in a heartbeat. Zion over Randall, of course. Randall's a great player.
Hey, you think CP3 will ever get back to the finals?
No.
Nope. I think that was his chance. I think that was. What about the Bruins? Not too much going on with them. We're just kind of. I'm waiting. We'll be getting to them in about a month. We'll be talking more about them in about a month.
Oh yeah, there you go. Thoughts on the AD fight?
We definitely appreciate you guys. Me and JD do. Thanks for hanging out with us for 2 hours and
best chat on YouTube.
We definitely appreciate it. I think we hit on a lot of good stuff today.
Heck yeah.
Thoughts on the AB fight? Do you expect anything less? It's AB. If there was an offseason without an AB fight, I might be concerned.
They'd be like, "What's wrong with you, AB? Come on, you good? You still there, bud?"
It's like that Vontaze Burfict and AB meme.
He knocked the sense out of him. No, it's like I have no problem with it, honestly. Like, it's football, dude. If you don't fight in football a little bit, I fought in football in high school, man. If you don't fight a little bit in training camp, even with your buddies,
like,
come on.
They happen. The fights at training camp and the fights at the joint practices happen. They happen.
It's more of a story for like the media. They're like, "Oh my god," he said. JD Chicago was rocking for CM Punk.
It was.
What? CM Punk
wrestling.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was rocking yesterday. Okay, I got you. I read that wrong.
It was.
Chicago was rocking yesterday. Okay.
It's his hometown, man.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. That's Rubio's hometown too? Well, I'm from West Chicago. No, that's
Chicago. So that's CM Punk is Chicago's his hometown.
Oh, yes. That's what's up. I haven't watched much WWE.
Who cares? The WWE sucks. AEW is better.
What is it? AAW?
AEW is the new wrestling company.
I've seen a little bit on the Pat McAfee show, but that's
who cares? Who cares about WWE anymore? Their booking and their scripts have been terrible for years.
I like raw sports that is unscripted. You know what I mean? That's what I'm more.
That's why AEW is better, because that's why AEW is better, because they give the talent more control. They don't script everything up. It's a lot better of a show.
You streaming the Sox game, Bobby?
Will I be streaming the Sox? I will not be streaming the Sox today. I will be at the stadium. So I am going to the game tonight. Yeah.
Got him. I forgot you told me that, actually. I think you told me that. Mavs fans for life. Mad the legend. Mavs fans for life. I'm not a Mavs fan. I'm going to be totally.
He's a Luka Doncic fan. He loves
Luka Doncic stan. That's it. Here. Let me show you. I'm a Chicago fan, like through
He's
and
a
through.
Chicago fan, but he is a Luka Doncic stan.
I have Bulls jerseys and everything. It's just I just wanted to rock the Luka today. I don't know. I figured we'd talk some basketball, so I wanted to rock a little Luka today. Just got my Luka. I'm a huge Luka Doncic fan.
Dude,
everyone's like MFFL.
We haven't seen a talent like I'm telling you, man. These next 5 years, when some of these got 5 years, like when guys like LeBron are when they fade out, when Harden fade out, and these guys fade out. That next group of young talent's going to be fun to watch.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be amazing. And Luka, honestly, all he has to do just become a little bit more efficient, and then it's over. It's over for the league, dude. It's done. It's cooked. Just to be a little bit smarter with the ball, it's over. Everyone's screwed after that.
Yeah,
so
no doubt.
He's got the league in his hands. Dalton or Fields? That'll be my last question and answer. Fields. Let's go, baby. Bear down.
Bear down, right, JD?
Hell yeah, I'm gonna watch that today. I'm excited. I can't wait to watch Fields. Oh my god, I'm so excited. It's gonna be great.
But that'll do it for today's show, guys. That'll do it for today's show. I'll be live tonight, I'm gonna be at the stadium tonight. I'll be at Fenway tonight, enjoying the Sox game. You're gonna see some pictures. I'll put some pictures up on hopefully some live video and some pictures up on the community tab or up on the channel, but that's what I will be doing today. So
peace out, Lissandro. Thanks for hanging out.
Once again, guys, thank you. Me and JD appreciate you guys showing up. The best chat on YouTube. We definitely appreciate you guys supporting the podcast. And this thing's just going to continue to grow. We're just going to keep it rolling. Episode 2. And next week,
we are on iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio, at us. Download us on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, iHeartRadio. It's up on iHeartRadio. Where is it again? El City?
Not on Apple yet, but soon, hopefully. And then at iHeartRadio and YouTube so far.
So you can listen on iHeartRadio, guys. Give it a like on that. And that's where you can find us here. For anybody listening on iHeartRadio that's found the podcast, we are live on YouTube. So the show is broadcast live Saturday or Sunday morning, depending on mine and JD's schedule, but it is usually about 10:45 a.m. in the mornings, Saturday or Sunday. So if you're listening on iHeartRadio or Apple, when it gets put up on Apple, that is where you can listen and be a part of the live show. You can be a part of the live chat. We do this broadcast live on YouTube as well. So that's all we got for you guys today. Once again, appreciate all of y'all for the continued support, and we look forward to seeing you back next week. We are signing off, though, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Beantown Breakdown.
It'll be up on the Beantown Breakdown YouTube channel, which is my channel. And then JD, what's your channel name?
JD Bot. JD Bot. You can look up JD Botorf, you'll find it. But JD Bot is JDBOTTS, right? Bots. Oh yes, I'm sorry, JD Bots. Yes, sorry.
Right. So that is where y'all will be able to find the live show and the replay.
The edited version, yeah.
Either way, though, so you'll be able to find the shows on both of our YouTube channels if you want to be a part of the live chat. And we thank you guys again. We'll see you next weekend. Go Pats. JD, what else?
Bear down. Let's go. Bear down. Well, today, everybody, let's go. Bear down.
Thanks again, guys. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Everybody have a good weekend. Me and JD are out of here. Peace.
All right. Peace out, boys.